Welcome back everybody, Matt the Matt here. This weekend I got to go see Scream 2022. It's called Scream, or Scream 5 as I like to call it, because it's still a continuation of the series. Not a reboot, it's not a remake. You still get your legacy characters. You still get characters from even Scream 4 in this movie. So, Scream. I want to also show off my new shirt. I got this last summer from my friend Reese, Woodsboro High School, 1996, the year the first Scream movie came out. Once again, I'm going to give you my history of Scream. That was one of my favorite horror franchises. I was a young boy in the summer of 2000. The third Scream movie came out that January of 2000 in the theater. And then that summer, it came out on home video, where you would have to go to the rental store, like a Blockbuster or a home video, and rent a movie in person. Also back then, movies did not come out a month or 2 months after being in the movie theater. It was more like 6 to 7 months later. Then they would actually finally come out on video. Times have changed. Now movies in theaters for like a month, and then a month later you can watch it at home. You know. And then like, maybe less than 2 months, you can buy it on Blu-ray. If you still buy videos, like I do. Not as many, but I still buy a few. So it was the summer of 2000. It was hot. It was Georgia, Alpharetta, summer heat. Probably in like 99 degrees outside. Parents are at work. What do? My brother, then he was going over to a friend's house in the neighborhood. His friend's name was Mike. And they were going to be over there watching some movies. So I tagged along, like I used to do a lot of the time. And they put on Scream 1 and Scream 2. I don't remember we watched them back to back, or one day we watched Scream 1, the next day we watched Scream 2. Either way, a young kid who just finished 4th grade before going into 5th grade, which then 5th grade was the year I started wanting to become a filmmaker. No, there's your influence on horror when it came to making movies. Scream. So there we were watching these movies, and I just got hooked right away. Then the very next day, or a couple days later, we rented Scream 3, and we watched it at my house in the living room. Well, my brother's friends were there. We're watching the opening of the movie with Cotton Weary, girlfriend running around the house because Ghostface is chasing her. And Ghostface says a line, how much fun it is going to be to rip your insides out. And my mom is in the laundry room doing laundry. She comes out, what are you watching? What is this rated? Me, being my smart ass self, Mom, it's Scream. I've already seen the first two. No big deal. There I was watching a rated R. And I watched a lot of rated R movies when I was young. I mean, ratings didn't matter. I mean, I saw Titanic in the movie theater opening weekend. So, there you go. Brought up Titanic, just watching a show that had Kate Winslet on it, so that's why I brought up Titanic. But so Titanic came out when I was in 1st grade, no, elementary school. No, basically, Scream has been a part of my life since, really, 21 years ago. So, here we are. The first Scream I ever saw in theaters was Scream 4, the last Wes Craven movie that came out. I was in college. I just got back from missing winter quarter. It was spring quarter. I was in my second quarter junior year. And that April 2011, Scream 4 came out. That opening day, I went to the theater that Friday. If you don't have class on Fridays, that's sad. And I saw Scream 4. And I consider Scream 4 probably the best sequel outside of the first one. Then a few years ago, for the month of October, for Halloween, I recreated some scenes from Scream 1 and 2. I didn't get to do Scream 3 and 4 because, I don't know. Scream 3 was kind of hard to pick something since that one was filmed and set in Hollywood. So that one was a little tricky. And then Scream 4 didn't have that many notable moments that you'd be like, oh, I get what he's doing there. So I mainly only did it for Scream 1 and 2. Here are some of the photos to prove that I am a huge Scream fan. That's me in my Milton High School varsity jacket, recreating the opening of Scream 1. What I like about Scream, and not in terms of the movies, but in terms of how they've been releasing these movies aren't coming out every 2 years, or every 3 years. Like the Scream 3 came out in yes, the first two came out a year apart, and they wanted to capitalize on the success of Scream 1, so they rushed Scream 2 out a year later. And luckily Scream 2 was an awesome movie, so they lucked out on that one. Scream 3 came out in 2000, Scream 4 came out in 2011, and now Scream 5 comes out in 2022. It was originally going to come out in 2021, but because of the pandemic, it ruined a lot of, they had to move the release date. They could have probably put this out in December, considering the first two came out in December. Anyway, what I like about this series, not on the franchise, what I like how they wait, like I said, it was 11 years between the third and fourth one. It's technically over 10 years, closer to 11 years, since the fourth one. And what I like about that is these characters like Dewey, Gale, and Sydney, they're not just characters, you know what I mean? Like the actors that play these roles, like I said, Nev Campbell doesn't do that much anymore. Courtney Cox doesn't really do that much. David Arquette, the only movies I really see David Arquette in are in the Scream movies. So, these actors really are these characters. And what I like about Scream in terms of release dates, we get to peek into these people's lives every 10 years. And I like that. I like them feeling more like real people. And we're just getting a little bit of a glimpse of what's going on in their life now. Every 10 years. It's cool. Like that, it makes them feel like real people. Rather than, oh, there's Courtney Cox just playing a role. There's Nev Campbell just playing a role. There's David Arquette just playing a role. And kind of like the American Pie. I remember this was like American Pie. We don't get an American Pie movie every year. So it's nice to, they're due for another American Pie movie. But, I like peeking into their lives every 10 years. Almost like a 10-year reunion. Hey, it's been 10 years, let's get together, see what's new in your life. Yay, have a few drinks, share some stories. Alright? But anyway, that's my little history with Scream. Now we're going to get into the actual review. Scream 2022, so what did I think of it? I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed a lot of some of the cast, and I'll get to that. I enjoyed how they handled the legacy characters like Dewey, Gale, and Cindy. I think this is one of the bloodiest Scream movies. Scream 4 was pretty bloody. In terms of gore and brutality. I would say this new Scream, let's just call it Scream 5, so we don't get confused. Scream 5 is probably the more brutal Scream. Yes, we had that great third act in the first Scream, which is brutal. But the way Ghostface kills people in this movie is brutal. I mean, he doesn't just stab them once, or twice, or 3 times. I mean, there are times this dude is going like all the way, like 20 times on somebody. And you're like, whoa. Okay, we're just gonna go all out for it. That way that character definitely ain't coming back. So let me get into the positives. Positive number 1, Jenna Ortega. She plays Tara Carpenter, the younger sister of Sam Carpenter, played by Melissa Herrera, who is kind of like the new Sydney. Jenna Ortega opens the movie. She's the opening scene. As soon as they announced her as being part of this movie, I've been singing her praises from You Season 2 to one of the other Netflix movies. She's new, she's still fresh in the industry, she's really making her mark. She is the best actress in this movie. Her scenes at the beginning, her scenes with her sister Melissa, played by Melissa Herrera, are great. From the horror aspect and the inner, quieter moments, she is very good in this movie. Maybe we'll see her more in the future, maybe we won't. I hope we do, we'll see. Melissa Herrera, like I said, I didn't know Melissa Herrera until last summer when she was in the musical In the Heights. She was very good in that movie. Here she's also very good. She might have the hardest part in this movie in terms of selling the dialogue. Not that the dialogue is bad, but there are certain moments in this movie where she's having to almost give monologues of dialogue, and I think if it was said any other way, it would come off cheesy, it would come off stupid, maybe dull and boring, but Melissa Herrera can give us the right dialogue and make it work. Like, for instance, the best example of bad dialogue was in Halloween 2018, where Judy Greer had to give this monologue of exposition, and she did it in such a monotone, robotic voice that it's one of the worst things in that movie. And I liked Halloween 2018, but that is the one moment I go, you sound like you're just reading off a prompt, because you don't remember your lines. But Melissa Herrera, she's fun, she has the strength, her scenes with her sister are great, her scenes with her boyfriend, played by Jack Quaid, are great. She shows moments of, she shows a lot of range, I'll say that. Good, like light and dark range that, it's very hard for a character to bring out and she does. Another standout is Jack Quaid. I don't know Jack Quaid that well. Me and him don't get drinks every Friday. You need to call me Jack. I don't watch The Boys, the Amazon show that he's known for. He is the son of Dennis Quaid. So if you know, and you're like, Quaid, that last name sounds familiar. Yes, he is the son of Dennis Quaid, not Randy Quaid from, National Lampoon's Uncle Eddie. He is not the son of Uncle Eddie. Thank God. But Jack Quaid plays Richie. He's the boyfriend of Melissa Herrera, Sam Carpenter. I like Jack Quaid in this. Even though I really haven't seen him in anything. How do I say this? He has some of the funniest lines in the movie. Like, the stream has some humor throughout the series, but it's not goofy. One thing I really liked about this, the humor in this movie isn't the goofy humor that, like, Scream 3 had, or even a moment in Scream 4 that I didn't like. The humor in this is on the same level as Scream 1, as in the character of Stu. Like, Matthew Weber played that character to perfection. And his humor in that movie worked perfectly, where Jack Quaid can bring humor without it feeling weird or goofy or completely out of tone with the rest of the movie. And I would say this is one of the darker Scream movies in terms of how serious they play it. But he was a standout. One of the legacy characters, David Arquette, Dewey Cox. Or Dewey. Yeah, Dewey. David Arquette finally gets the role or the part that is awesome. Dewey in this movie is great. I mean, a lot. He's always been one of the favorites throughout the series, but his character arc in this movie is great. I mean, it's really like that's how you pay off a legacy character. I only wish he had a scene with Cindy Prescott, Jeff Campbell. I missed that. His scene with Gail is a great, emotional, serious. It feels so real because obviously David Arquette and Courtney Cox were married in real life, and then they broke up. So, their conversation in this movie is so good and feels so real. It's like the scriptwriter just wrote down a real conversation that David Arquette and Courtney Cox had after they broke up. I mean, it was good. I mean, real good. Like I said, the opening sequence is a highlight. Most of the Scream movies, the opening sequence is sometimes one of the best moments in the entire movie. This one is good. It pays more homage to the original. It's great. It elevates. I love hearing Roger L. Jackson's voice and what he did with his voice in this one, especially in the opening, was really good. I think it sets the tone, how gory this movie is going to be, how serious this movie is, what they're going to be talking about in this, what the commentary is going to be this time around in terms of the horror genre the genre in general in movies. The cinematography is very good in this movie. I know Scream 4 people don't like the cinematography. It's more like a glossy finish. And the late Wes Craven said he wanted to do that because it was a reboot. And he wanted it to feel a little bit different than the original trilogy. I love the cinematography in here. It doesn't have the glossiness. But some, like one shot, here's one shot from one of the scenes in the movie. Just that, the lighting and the car lights and the way Ghostface is, you know, set up. Great shot, composition-wise, lighting-wise. There's another shot in the movie in a hospital. I can't show that scene because it's a spoiler. But it is one of these shots of like, that is like the greatest shot. And I think in any Scream movie. Perfect shot. So the cinematography, and then like, in the third act, the camera does some interesting panning and tilting and zooming out, showing a certain location. And I wish they didn't show it in the trailer, because they showed it in the trailer, and I wish they did it. If they showed it in the movie, I think it would have had a lot more impact. Especially the way they shot it. But the cinematography here, very good. Very, very good. I think one of the best looking Scream movies. Whatever the shot was. This movie is suspenseful. Suspenseful. There's one scene in here, near the end of the second act. Judy hits his house. Mary Shelton returns. Involves her and her son, Wes Hicks, played by Dylan Minnette. It is one of the best scenes in terms of suspense since probably the opening of Scream 1. It is a great scene, and the build-up of suspense in that scene is great. Just like the opening, the suspense in the opening is great. You know, you're always on the edge of your seat. Where's Ghostface? The suspense, great. Every time the movie's brutal in its killings, it is the most brutal Ghostface we've seen. Talking about elevated horror. You got it here. So one thing we all know about the Scream movies, they're a commentary on the horror genre at the time, or what's been going on the past 10 years. It's a commentary on Hollywood. And I like about this one is the commentary, even though Scream 4 didn't really handle the reboot sequel commentary. It was more about, you know, fame and, you know, fans and having the more fans and becoming like a celebrity through social media, like starting their podcast and, you know, views and hits and likes. Even though that was technically supposed to be a reboot sequel. Here, with the trend we've seen from Halloween 2018, Jurassic World, Star Wars, The Force Awakens, what else? Candyman recently. It's the reboot sequel. Like, we're not completely rebooting the series. It's a requel. Half sequel, half reboot. We're going to bring in some new characters, but we're also going to bring back the legacy characters. And we're going to show you familiar locations, familiar story beats, but we're going to give them a little bit of a twist. I like that. I think they handled that perfectly in this one. They also go into toxic fandom. And we're all accused of this. Oh, they didn't do what I wanted them to do in that movie. So now I hate that movie. Oh, they ruined Star Wars with Star Wars, The Last Jedi. How could they? They ruined my expectations. They ruined the DC Universe. What did they do with Superman? I hate it. That's not what I would do. Toxic fandom. There you go. And they handled that perfectly in this movie. And I really like that. The script, very well done. Not done by Kevin Williamson. This one's done by James Vanderbilt and Guy Busick. James Vanderbilt, I'm pretty sure he wrote The Amazing Spider-Man. He wrote Zodiac. Especially Zodiac. The serial killer. They're really good. I like the meta stuff in this one. They do it perfectly, not too over the top, like Scream 3. But a nice level where, yeah, that's meta, that works. Like in the third act alone, that's meta. There's even a scene in the third act that is 100% on the nail, on the coffin, or whatever you want to say. But it works for what's going on in the scene. The other thing I would say about this movie for the positives is, even though it is a reboot, sequel, and it does have familiar beats that you know, or familiar plot points, this Scream, whether you like the movie or not, and that's where the toxic fandom would come into play if you didn't like it. And this movie is bold. This movie makes a lot of bold decisions. This movie does a lot of switch-ups that you don't expect. There's a lot of moments in this movie that I was like, oh, that's a twist. Oh, that's unexpected. Oh, okay, well, that's not what I expected to happen. Wow, okay, well, there you go. So this movie will go down for switching things up. And I like that. What it does is it says, okay, you don't know what's going to happen next in Scream 6. You don't. You don't know what they're going to do in the next movie now. Your expectations, or what you know, what you think is going to happen, you can throw that out the window now. If they switch so many things up in this one, now you don't know what they're going to do in the next one. And I like that. I like not knowing now. Because of all the switches up in this movie, I don't know what they're going to do in the next movie. And that's a good feeling. That's what you want. You don't want to go into a movie and go, oh, I know what's going to happen here. I know what's going to happen here. I know what's going to happen here. I know the whole movie now. No, you don't. And I like that. So let's get into the negatives now. Negative Nancy. Negatives. My biggest problem with this movie, and I said this at the end, we have a lot of new characters in this movie. And normally the Scream movies are able to handle new characters very well and develop them. I mean, look at Scream 2. You got Sydney's new boyfriend. You got her roommate. You got Cotton Weary coming back into the picture in a bigger role. You got Millie Lewis's mother. You got Timothy Olyphant in there. I'm blanking on his name. But you got like 3 or 4 new characters in Scream 2. They all get developed. Scream 3. You got a new killer. You got the actors. You got the Hollywood actors portraying our legacy characters in Scream 3. Plus, you got Detective Kincaid, played by Patrick Dempsey. Then you get into Scream 4. And in my opinion, outside of the first Scream, Scream 4 has the best new characters, new cast. You got Jill Roberts, played by Emma Roberts. You got Kirby, played by Hayden Panettiere. You got Robbie, Jill's boyfriend. You got the two film guys, one of them played by one of the Colton brothers. You got Jill's mother. You got Allison Brie as an agent for Cindy's new book. You got Anthony Mackie as the cop. You got Adrian Brody. Adam Brody. Seth Cohen as a cop. You got the introduction of Mary Shelton as Judy Hicks, who comes back for Scream 5. Like I said, the new, younger characters in Scream 4 are memorable. Are so memorable. That's why everyone wanted Kirby to return for Scream 5. She's one of the best characters in this entire franchise. Now you get into Scream 5, and outside of Jenna Ortega, Melissa Herrera, and Jack Quaid, all the other new characters are just there. They don't develop them at all. Each of them has their moment, but we don't develop them. You got the Meats twins. The Mindy Meats and her brother, who are the niece and nephew of Randy Meats. Mindy Meats is the new Randy, yes. She has a great explaining the rules of the reboot sequel, the requel. But that's her best moment. That's it. The brother has a moment in the third act that's kind of funny. That's it. The brother's girlfriend, the one with the pink hair, I don't even know why she was in this movie. She didn't do anything. Wes Hicks, played by the great Dylan Minnette. He's a great actor. From Prisoners to the show 13 Reasons Why. He was in the Goosebumps movie. He's a good actor. I like him. He has one great scene in this movie, but it's more on the suspense of the scene than him in general. And once again, he really doesn't have a moment. He has a moment, but that's it. Even bringing back Judy Hicks back, they didn't do anything with her. Who else? Kyle Gallagher. Kyle Gallagher. He's been in a lot of movies. He has two scenes in this movie. And that might add up to 1 minute of screen time. I have no idea anything. The only thing I found out about that guy is his uncle was Stu. Alright, that's what we know. So really all the new characters, most of the new characters, no development. And like I said, when you look at Scream 1, Scream 2, Scream 3, Scream 4, all the new characters get development. And it's not just a highlight scene, or a highlight moment. They actually get fleshed out. My other minor negative, this is more of a minor negative, I felt some scenes were left out on the cutting room floor. There's a scene that happens, and the very next scene somehow, Sidney Prescott is in the hospital. And it's like, wait a minute, doesn't Sidney live like up north? And how did she get all the way here? And how did she just show up in Woodsboro in a hospital? It's like there was a scene missing. Like either Gail made a call, or then he saw something on the news. But I think there should have been some sort of scene in the middle between those scenes. And then how did she get there already? Yeah, there was like one or two of those. Or like, I think they cut a scene out. It feels like it. But other than that, that's really all the negatives I have. And they just developed the new characters more. I would have been happy because the legacy characters aren't in this movie that much. So then one thing is, they're spending more time with the legacy characters and not enough time with the new characters. No. The new characters have the most screen time, but it's mainly those three, Jenna, Sam, their character names, Tara, Sam, and Richie. So I was kind of bummed about that. Like that would probably be my biggest gripe. I think the directors of Ready or Not did a great job taking over for Wes Craven. And me personally, I think even if Wes Craven was still alive, as much as I like Scream 4, I said when you do 4 movies, it's time to pass it off. Let somebody else come in and put their stamp on the movie. And I really do feel like the directors of Ready or Not put their stamp on this movie. Cinematography, editing, story, switching a lot of things up. And I think they did a great job, and I hope they return with Scream 6. So overall, I would give this movie a 4.5 out of 5. I think that's a good rating. And then maybe if they develop more of the newer characters, my rating would go higher. But 4.5 out of 5. And that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this Scream review. I'm hoping we don't wait another 10 years for another Scream. I'll be in my 40s if that does happen. Now that would be mind-blowing. From the time I saw the first Scream I ever saw was in 4th grade. And if we don't get another Scream movie until I'm in my 40s, oh boy. Oh boy. I just made you feel real old. Real old. Anyway, Matt and Matt here. Hope you enjoyed this review. If you haven't seen the movie, go see it. If you're a fan of Scream, I think you'll enjoy it. And once again, I'll be right back.